Welcome everyone to tonight's coverage of the Kick in the Tires Round of 12 Finale 250K. For tonight's action in the Barr Visuals FTF Cup Series here on FTF.gg. Currently tuning in progress in the midst of Stage 2 for tonight's action. I'm Justin Prince, along with me is my producer, Zach Johnson. As we make our way through Stage 2, here's how things are faring out. Matt Danson, doing Matt Danson things, is currently in the race lead in the midst of the pit stop window, taking a one-lap undercut over a driver who already recorded a win to be able to advance into the next round, Nate S. Stewart. Kevin King, Blake Reynolds, and Wyatt Tinsley to the current top 5. Reynolds yet to take service during this window. For those watching along with the ticker, all drivers locked in, essentially Nate Stewart, are in green, and all playoff drivers are in yellow for tonight's action. This is a cutoff round to be able to make it to the round of 8. The drivers to keep an eye on tonight: Michael Cozy Jr. has a 183-point cushion, Brian Mercurio 169 points, Kevin McAdams 121 points with Blake Reynolds, Kevin Kane 108, Wyatt Tinsley 90, Cosman an issue up 43. The drivers needing a lot to happen: Nathan Rabideau, Ryan Naraki, Michael Frisch, and Brandon Hawkin. Those drivers up towards 83 points below the cut line entering tonight's action. The gap for the race lead shrinking in the early stages here. Nate Stewart, driver with the most playoff points picked up in the round, 10 total. Result of the victory. Following along with the 4 machine, one lap fresher tires already seen a 1/10 difference a lap. Pit stop still underway for many of the drivers, including the 71 machine. That's Chris Wetz making his way off and away for 4 tires and Sunoco race fuel. Battle for the race lead. 3 wide nearly for a moment with lap traffic. Here comes Stewart on the fresher rubber. Battling with the Logitech machine, the Altus Esports car, trying to hold on with Stewart providing the pressure. Beam Team machine all over the back bumper of Danson. Of note, Chris Wetz has crashed and they crashed nearly into the back end of the 48. Andy Margot nearly wrecks Stewart. The race leaders nearly get wrecked by a lapped car. Tempers are flaring. Coming to 5 laps to go in this respective stage. The gap separated by about 0.6 of a second. Spencer Ray also in the vicinity at the time of the chaos, but able to avoid major significant incidents, as in cars spinning. And for those just jumping in here, amongst the drivers off circuit, good Michael Cozy Jr., Kyler Wen, Dylan Drowling, Joseph Armstrong, and Kenny Brady amongst the DNFs. 41 drivers took the green flag for tonight's action. And in comes Danson again. Danson came in just a couple laps ago. Danson is reporting he's got mandatory repairs, apparently. The car looks visually okay, and Danson has pulled off from the race lead. He does not have a visual meatball flag. He has now topped off for gas. Remember, for those who watched real-world action earlier today, the fuel mileage went about 40 laps. Will this be a strategy play to make it to the end on gas? We'll have to see. So Nate Stewart has cycled to the race lead over Kevin King by nearly 8 seconds. Reynolds currently up to the 3rd spot. Tinsley, Oates, Hawk in the top 6. Amongst some of the close battles on the racetrack, Oates and Hawkin, Corder and Frisch 5th and 6th and 8th and 9th respectively are close together. Most of the field having some separation. Keep in mind this track noted to be fairly difficult for competitors, especially in the midst of some dirty air as seen in real-world action earlier today. Last time out at Talladega Superspeedway picked up his victory with just 2 laps led, that victory coming over Daniel Falkingham. Michael Cozy Jr., a Superspeedway ace, picked up a 3rd place finish from 43rd starting spot that race. That's how the lock-in came from the 4 car. Taking a look at some of the battles. Michael Frisch trying to reel in Ethan Corder. Frisch on older tires. Corder has already taken service. Corder trying to keep things patient though. They're both running 1:19.1 so far. Some drivers in various races throughout the past couple weeks at the Charlotte Roval had reported minimal tire wear. We'll see if that carries out to the vicinity and through the majority of this respective race tonight. Keep in mind that was with the iRacing fix set in some series throughout the week. Brandon Hawken of note has peeled into the pit lane, so it seems a strategy may be afoot. The 099 electing to peel on in this time by. And Mills amongst those also indicating a pit stop. Matthews Whack coming into the pit lane this time by the 026. Reynolds amongst one of the front runners in some of the Norris Force paint schemes. Solid run tonight from the 120 machine. 10th in the team standings, keep in mind. Still looking for a first victory on the campaign. Just 16 years old. Hampton, Virginia-based driver providing pressure compared to the older tires in front from Blake Reynolds. That 66 is your team standings leader, mind you, for first 4 racing, but 4 victories on the trot. Marine tempers have been flaring around the racetrack. Once those nearly contacted with the radio Cole Freilich. Still keeping clean for now. Here's a look at the battle between the 37 and the 58 again. Quarter this time under attack. Michael Frisch finding a bit of speed to boost forward. Pit lane is closed for the end of the stage. Lap 30 being taken by the race leader. .63 giving a bit of space up on the high side. The 663 rather. That's Ryan Pandisio. What will Frisch do? To be able to send it forward to the back bumper. No contact, keeping it clean in the fight. These drivers already half a track behind in this one. Oh, and trouble down the back straightaway. Remember the flare-ups with Cole Freilich and a couple others? How about this one? That was Philip Cecil McCandless. And not the night to be a McCandless on the track, apparently. But Nate Stewart keeping things clean. So we take a look at the 23 of Scotty Smith. The end of the stage coming in right now. Nate Stewart is coming across to end this respective stage, starting lap 31 now. Kevin King, 12 seconds back is in second. Then Reynolds, Tinsley, Oates, currently the top 5 of the racetrack. Canlis has pulled out as a result of that incident we just seen moments ago. Chris Wetz has also pulled out from his incident after the pit stop sequence. Matt Danson held on to the 6th position coming around to end lap 30. Quarter and Frisch line to stern. The caution is out with Falkingham and Mercurio rounding up the top 10. That came just as Freilich was put under attack for 13th by Austin Johnson. So this is the competition caution that was anticipated for this event tonight. And this is where the strategy from Matt Danson in the tire fall off can definitely become a factor. "17 drivers maintain the lead lap. Kevin McAdams, the first driver, a lap down to the top of the caution. So it should take some time for this respective caution sequence. Result here. So stage win for the number 4 of Nate Stewart. Kevin McAdams does get the confirmation of the lucky dog as they reach the iRacing safety car. Keep in mind the total points fund for this season stretches all the way back to the end of the top 20. For those eliminated from the postseason, it reverts back to regular season points. The champion for this season's championship can come away with $200. Finish at the top 20, you secure at least $20 in the prize pool for this season. Those confirmed back in August. Good chance for drivers to sort that together here, with the majority of the spots having separation entering tonight. Ethan Corder has taken an early pit stop. He may have gotten the opportunity to pit there. We'll see if he has a black flag or not. Let's see how this sorts out. Kevin McAdams is also taking the service, so some of the drivers half a track back are now able to take their service. The rest of the drivers will have to wait if they elect to pit. Amongst those who might be in the conversation to stay out, Matt Danson. The bigger of those two, though, who needs a win, the 099 Brandon Hawken, 10th on the racetrack, pit a couple laps after Matt Danson. We'll see how the decisions play out here, however, once we make our way around to the pit entry, this time by. And pit road is open. Who comes in? Nate Stewart nearly aimed it for the barrels for a second, but does come in. Kevin King in. Back most of the race leaders in. As expected, Danson stays out. Hawken does not, however. So despite pitting a couple laps ago, Hawken comes in again. Zwack elected to stay out as well this time. Ethan Corder already has taken service, but has gotten an EOL. Race off the pit lane. A 7-second pit stop from Kevin King. He's the first one off, followed by Reynolds, Tinsley, Oates, and then Stewart. The pit exit was closed, we are hearing. The pit exit was closed because the pace line was still passing the exit. So Nate Stewart stopped before the commitment line and may have just outplayed some of the others because EOL penalties have just been given to several drivers because they crossed the blend line with them still coming across the exit blend mark on the racetrack. So ELO penalties for some of the drivers who came out with the pit exit closed. Tinsley avoided the penalty, so he keeps his track position. Stewart keeps his track position, but several others will lose their track position as a result. Reynolds, the biggest of them. So this race has just had things blended about as a result of pit road exit penalties. Approaching halfway in this one, you're watching the kick in the tires, round of 12, finale 250K for the Barr Visuals FTF Cup Series. Welcome back to the Roval, where the strategy games are afoot. Matt Danson, Matthew Zwack, Wyatt Tinsley, now your top three, followed by Jonathan Oates and Nate Stewart. Daniel Falkingham and Brandon Hawkin, the top seven. Austin Johnson, Cole Freilich, and Brian Mercurio inside the top 10. Remember, several drivers, including Kevin King and Blake Reynolds, picked up EOLs as a result of exiting a closed pit lane. So they will have to come from 16th and 17th place respectively. Also during this caution, fireworks over the radio after Michael Cozy Jr. returned to the track and picked up a passing under yellow penalty. He's coming full speed at the whole pack now. He is 15 laps down and has another black flag to serve, as well as Lucas Plussel. So the fireworks are going off, to say the least, here at the Charlotte Roval. The sun is also setting, and they're passing the pace car because FTF. So we'll have to see how the strategy plays out. Remember, the drivers up at the front stayed out after they topped off on fuel just prior to the pit road closing for the end of the stage. Coming to start stage 3, just past halfway. Hansen with a great restart. Here comes Tinsley for second. He and Stewart boxing on the inside, Zwack from the outside. A wreck in the midst of the pack. Caution flag is out. That's enough to trigger the yellow, and we'll have another restart. Corey Cook for Guardian Sports goes around. Guardian Esports, rather. That was the 18th place car for the restart. He ended up going around after Landon Mills went around off his nose for the team. Let's take a look at the replay. Watch the 125. And there's the secondary help. So we'll do a restart again. Minimal damage for the green and white machine, or was, till on the left rear tires got slammed in. So Cook goes around, Mills goes around. We're under caution again. Mills, very significant damage. Landon Mills, not only an yellow penalty as a result of the caution, a one-lap stop-and-go penalty as a result of the caution trigger. Ryan Naraki will be the lucky dog this caution flag. And so we get to pacing here. Remember, drivers in terms of the mileage potentially can make it to the end here based on the rear-world mileage. As there goes the 153, that is Naraki. And yes, that's a paint scheme. Yes, an effort was made. Wyatt Tinsley already up to second as a result of the charge through. Swack quickly got shuffled back to third prior to the caution. So a lengthy caution period expected here for the next couple moments under the pace laps as a result of this caution flag sequence. A shout out to the creativity of the paint scheme of the 039, Daniel Falkingham. Paint scheme representing those driven by drivers like Ricky Craven back in the past. Throwback paint scheme. Currently holding on to the top 5 after starting 9th in this one. Looking back up towards the front. By the way, the paint scheme, for those curious, is in relation to a cherry on Falkingham's car. Charity representing cystic fibrosis. For more information, go to January 30 and the number 1st.org. So for those just tuning in, under caution, in the middle of stage 3 now, 21 cars on the lead lap. For those who missed the restart, the car is expected to use that lane like in real life, so expect all the blue cones to be sent to the moon. The track workers expected to come back for the moon and quickly place those blue cones. Pit stops for David Cabrera, Spencer Ray, Kevin McAdams this time around. And something that's happened around Naraki, we've had a crash under caution, I think. Naraki just had to slam on his brakes and nearly ran over Landon Mills so he could come into pit. Now Naraki has stopped in the middle of the pit lane. Naraki has picked up a black flag because he passed Mills trying to enter the lane. And that's not frozen. Naraki did not go. He's been spending time typing instead. His black flag has been cleared. His pit stop being taken. And the games you can see that can come up to avoid a black flag. And then Naraki, upset, appeals to race control. He spends this time stopped talking to said control. Also an update involving Dylan Dryling's car. 27 laps down, is expected to return in 30 minutes to complete a single lap for owner's points. That's for Tyler Leinen. Keep in mind, depending on how the cautions fall, we also have the chance to race under the lights. Will it get to that point? We'll have to see. Remember, Coda had plenty of cautions after stage yellows. Expecting the one-to-go signal this time by Danson, Tinsley, Stewart, Swack, Falkingham, your top 5. Hockingham, or rather, Hawkin. Oates, Johnson, Freilich, and Mercurio, your top 10. Amongst those who picked up EOL's last caution for the exit pit lane violation, Kevin Kane is back to 15th. Blake Reynolds did not go anywhere. He's in 17th. And the one-to-go signal is now given as Brent Pancari and Art Reimer like to come in and top off one more time. Under 30 laps to go when we get the green flag back underway. EOL penalty given to Landon Mills just now. Remembers a part of that sequence earlier and is 7 laps down and is at the other end of the racetrack. There's a chance Mills does not make it to the field as a result. Naraki, as expected, will also start at the back with the EOL penalty as the lucky dog. Keep in mind, on October the 4th, the schedule was announced for 2023 for the Barr Visuals FTF Cup Series. 2023 expected to get underway January the 28th for preseason Thunder. Keep in mind, you have 2 different pole days, the Brook Clash, as well as part of the early February fireworks and spectacular. Before the next week will be the FTF 500D main, if needed, the C main, as well as the Tiny Tex 500K. February 11th next year will be the Barr Visuals FTF 500. And then the race to make the championship progresses from there on forward. Several different races to keep an eye on. The Rockingham event will be an early stage event. Race from North Wilkesboro plan, Chicago Street Circuit on the schedule, but also the Oval. But the interesting layer, the Old Atlanta, is slotted for the championship finale 500K next year. So that will be something to watch for 2023. But the battle for the 2022 championship and to decide who will be in the round of 8 progressing forward. Remember, 43 points for Kotzman in issue over Rabideau entering tonight. It's time to get the restart rolling The blue cones say bye-bye. It's time to say hello to the restart. Bad restart from Wyatt Tinsley. And here they go to Tom's Heartburn turn. Stewart taking the high side and trouble. Several drivers feeling the heartburn as a pileup builds up on the exit. 2 cars stopped along the wall. No caution yet. Cole Freilich going around as well as the 41. One of the lead cars slamming the wall as well in the midst of the corners in 3 and 4. Cole Freilich has towed. We stay green. Oh, and several more cars are going around. Ray has gone around. Near trouble as well for Falkingham. Again, no caution. We stay green for the time being. And now the caution comes out as another car triggers as a secondary incident builds up in the next corner. Plenty of incidents. Ryan Pandisio involved in the trigger incident. And will continue pacing. Under yellow after calamity strikes in 4 or 5 different sections. FTF going to FTF. Let's take a look. There's incident 1 that did not trigger the caution. That's Mercurio in the 41. He ends up getting turned around by Austin Johnson. That discussion on Discord will be a bit heated. Then Calamity 2. How about taking the turtles and collecting an iRacing employee in Poulin? But the real trigger for the caution came in the next corners from Pandisio. As these two try to get gathered back up. Let's take another look. Big hit of the turtle. And Ray nearly stuck on the outside. Here is where the other incident comes in. Already a spin alongside right there. Then Pandisio goes around the boot. Right in the corner exit. Dylan Basin has also had to tow. The 04, here is the 23. Pushing all the cones around. That's Scotty Smith. And he collects 2 cars. That triggers the 3 involved for the caution. Chris Wett's involved. So cautions breed cautions, breed cautions, breed cautions. Once again here at the Charlotte Roval. Coming up to 27 to go. Matt Danson so far fairly uncontested as a result of the quickie cautions. As mentioned, Dylan Basin was also involved in some trouble and had to tow as a result of that incident-filled restart. Here in Spencer Ray's wheel has fallen off his stand. The Mean Team car is now having a hardware issue. He has told the drivers over the radio he was just involved in the crash. Will this be an issue? No, he's fixed it. Now he's not fixed it according to his own reporting, as he'll come to the pit lane to fully make sure the wheel doesn't fall off the desk. So more pit stops. Mercurio, McAdams, Ray, Gary, Naraki, Basin amongst those now in. Poulin also having to come in. Sort of the sequence. Take a break. Cautions breed cautions from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Welcome back to the Kick in the Tires, round of 12, finale 250K. 26 to go. We've had several cautions since the end of the second stage. We're back on our way with Danson running away. Tinsley trying to hold on to second. Here comes Stort. No spins yet. Now there's a spin to the back for 22nd. Michael Kruger, Jake Pullen involved in that one. We stay green. Only 2 cars in that incident. The heart of the pack 2x2 through the infield. Alonso's trying to make up ground. That's Brian Mercurio battling with David Cabrera. Having a clear on by, heading towards the Flower Gardens. Mercurio, an eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series driver, utilizing the high side up to 13th spot. Good recovery off the restart, and a clean restart. This sequence, more trouble. This is Ray. The race leaders through NASCAR 3 and 4, Danson, Tinsley, Hawken. And the caution is out, a crash in the backstretch chicane. And iRacing employee Jake Pullen involved yet again. It is not Jake Pullen's night. Watch as he gets, well, visited by several competitors. 2 drivers help spin him around. That is Tyler Gary in a paint scheme and Corey Cook. And we're back under caution. Gary had just gotten an EOL from the previous caution. So this race taking a caution, precaution kind of feel tonight to it. Keep in mind though, this may help Hawken try and battle for second. Remember, a must-win scenario, down 83 coming into tonight, 3 wins on the season as a whole. Needs the win to advance. Lucky dog this time, Lucas Plussel. Racing deal is to call from Justin Malou in race control. 21 cars now in the lead lap. Tange Bain Motorsports Machine, by the way, driving with pink, of course, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Backbeat APL Fisher, you seen on the drive-by previously. So again, under caution, coming to 24 laps to go. And glad to have you with us here on FTF.GG, a doubleheader night, Winsdell and our Visuals FTF Cup Series action, who, for those who missed earlier, Zach Campbell picked up his season-leading 5th victory of the Winsdell Gen 4 Challenge season. After calamity ×3 on the final lap of that race at Atlanta. A pit stop for Matthew Zwack. So Zwack has elected to back out of the top 5, and he'll come in with Michael Frisch, Brian Mercurio, and several others in the teens. So several drivers taking fuel only here. Mercurio leading them out from the pit lane this time. So Mercurio's recovery drive from one of the previous restarts up to 11th. As he showcases, appears to be the Goodyear machine. FTF has had a busy campaign, of course. When you factor how things have fared out as a whole, Mine Mercurio, the most wins in the season. We've seen that 30 machine very quick on the road courses throughout the campaign for what's been a very win-filled year. $18 different drivers made their way to victory lane this season, but a 1 to go signal has already been given on the racetrack. So getting all set to go for the restart. Danson Tinsley, Hawkins Stewart, Falkingham Oates, Kane Reynolds, Corder Johnson. Just about ready to get back underway. Give a shout out to Jonathan Oates and his run. We've seen some rough moments throughout the years for Oates. He's been very clean tonight, quietly running top 10 much of the evening. He'll start outside row 3 for the restart. All set to go. Green flag is out, a great launch from Danson again. Tinsley not so much. Here comes Hawkin on the send. He backs out of the send. Tinsley going full send to the back bumper of Danson. No spin arounds this time outside of 31st place. Everybody else able to keep it clean this time for this restart. Some side by side to the edge of the top 10, but Tinsley looking for the race lead. All over the back end of Danson. Sliding past the flowers into NASCAR 1. A look from Danson. Top 3 have broken away from the rest of the pack. To the backstretch chicane they go. Good exit from Danson. Solid grip from the 30. He's able to run away from Tinsley with the great run. Clean run this time through the chicane for the most part. Looks like we will complete a full lap for the first time in this stage. Danson looking to run away, up by 0.6 of a second now. Len Mills coming into the pit lane now. Remember, he has that penalty to serve still from one of the previous incidents. That's a 1-lap penalty. Hawkin all over the place in the 0.99 for a moment. Stewart giving him space to work with. Back to NASCAR 1. Alternate strategies, remember, for Danson and Hawkin compared to Tinsley and Stewart. Tinsley trying to send it over the turtles. Too strong through the turtles, nearly hits the wall. Tinsley has indicated he needs to pit. Tinsley has to come into the pit lane. Coming at 21 laps to go. So this may be a strategy play. Move Hawkin to second. There's a fuel cap of 65% for these cars right now, so that may be a huge factor into that decision making. Now with that to factor in, when will the strategy call come in for the rest of the field? The reference, Tinsley is coming out in 21st spot. That is 21 seconds back. Hawkin now being set free. Just some time ago, he spent time competing in Ferrari esports competition, finished in the top 6 in the world in that event. He now looks for the race lead. Hawkin electing to wait this time. Lap traffic is ahead as well to deal with. Cole Freilich. Dirty Aero factor. Hawkin having a challenge right now to work with it. Stewart also is in this train, as now Dirty Air being fed the dancing by Freilich. So far, the backstretch chicane has been stronger for Hawkin. In fact, this entire section through to that part, a little bit stronger for the 099. Looking through the gears through NASCAR 1 and 2, and a spin in the backstretch chicane. Parker White, after some time, returning back to the track for points, is 29 laps down. We stay green. Chris Wetz also crashed in the infield moments ago. He's back to the pit lane. His night may be done with mandatory repairs. Hawkin losing ground, coming through NASCAR 3 and 4 now. Lap traffic for Danson. Oh, and the traffic wrecks itself out of the way. Into the wall goes Freilich. Right in front of the battle for second, and now he cuts across Blake Reynolds, the 5th place car. Kevin King also able to sneak through, as there goes King for the pass with the traffic. They're grouped up with Jonathan Oates, who is now running 4th. 1 second or so back from the main group. What a night for Jonathan Oates. A look up to the very front once again. Bumper to bumper, Hawkin. Getting hounded by Stewart for a second. Seems tonight there is a 0.3 of a second bubble when it comes to this car. Challenges coming in. Speaking of challenges, looks like someone parking it. That's Naraki. So Naraki's night may be over there. So we make our way now under 18 laps to go. The top 6 separated by 3 seconds. Let's take a look at what happened to Ryan Naraki. He had been running in the 20s. Previously got the lucky dog. That's how you get a meatball. And that's how you really get a meatball. That's a broken right front tire rod. And that's the end of his night. Amongst those moving through the field, keep in mind, we'd seen Austin Johnson involved in trouble. He is the next pack back from this one we're keeping an eye on and trying to close into it. Johnson from 30th to 7th tonight. The youngster, still a graphic designer, now trying to work on Cole Freilich. From Fresno, California at just 17 years old. Freilich not making things easy, though, for this traffic management, though. And Johnson spins! Johnson hits the back end of Freilich and saves it. Disaster there. We stay green. Keep in mind, this is just the 7th start of the season for Austin Johnson, but he hits the wall. Another car is in the flower garden. That's Andy Margot. One spot lost to Ethan Coulter. Brian Mercurio also hit the wall. Here comes Mercurio to the bumper. More trouble. Cole Freilich spins out from that group. We stay green as here comes a scheduled pit stop for Blake Reynolds. And trouble. Nate Stewart from the top 3. Third on the racetrack. And trouble starting to pop up with attrition. That may have been your contact for second. That may have triggered that one. Hawken is clean, keeping up with Danson. Oates is now up to 3rd as a result of the trouble. Let's take a look at what happened previously to Nate Stewart. He is locked in. But watch the final corner. Right there off the left rear. Able to keep going, though. We stay green once more. But Stewart out of contention, losing 7 seconds, at least for now. Top 2 keeping some separation. If things start heating up here, Oates, keep in mind, is looking for just his 2nd top 5 this year. 31 starts coming into tonight. The last time he finished inside the top 5 was all the way back at Worldwide Technology Raceway, also known as Gateway, back in June. That was a 2nd place run. A look back at the top 2. Back through NASCAR 1 and 2. 14.5 laps to work with. We've already seen 1 scheduled stop, keep in mind. Expecting potentially more here with the smaller fuel load to think about. Good run this time by Hawken. Question is, does Hawken take it or does he save the gas? He elects to save the gas. Oh, and Danson slides in and cuts the corner. Danson into the wall. Danson, who's dominated much of this stage, has crashed out of the lead and given it to Brandon Hawken. So Brandon Hawken, who is in a must-win situation, is now the leader with 14 laps to go. More scheduled stops, by the way, taking place just as that incident happened. Ethan Coulter has taken a 2-tire stop. Still keeping an eye on Hawken as he runs away now from Danson, having clean air for the first time this entire run to work with. Pulling away, now nearly a second ahead. Oates keeping up with Danson as well. And pit stops coming up. You've seen coming in Danson. Danson going for the undercut. Will this work? The fall off during this run, as much as 1 to 2 seconds. Wyatt Tinsley has also just had a problem. Remember, he already pit this previous run and was on an undercut call. and may be done for the event because it is a lengthy tow and mandatory repairs for the 120. Can confirm as a result of contact coming out of NASCAR 1. Look over at Hawkin. Hawkin continuing to dictate his chances here. Keep in mind, no start at Texas, 22nd at Talladega. The last time he's even won a race, August the 7th, Michigan. And there goes Freilich to the grass. Freilich continuing to have a very fun time, 5 laps down. For Slothy Racing. Nate Stewart has come into pit, by the way. That's why he's falling down the pylon now. Schedule a pit stop. Expecting this to be the final window of the race. Hawkin maintaining about a 1.5 second advantage now over Jonathan Oates. Question is, where will he cycle compared to Danson? Danson is 25 seconds behind, so a quick sequence. Nate Stewart has had a problem in his pit sequence. A black flag, Stewart penalized for speeding. So Nate Stewart, who has a win to bank on at least, is out of contention to try and go 2 for 3. Looking over to the pit lane, will Hawkin peel in? No. Hawkin continues the song and dance to 11 laps to go. Austin Johnson up to 4th. Kevin King from 3rd into the pit lane. We'll take a very quick break. Coming up to 10 laps to go, you're watching the kick in the tires, round of 12, Finale 250K. As Johnson puts it in the wall and gives Mercurio 3rd spot. We keep rolling, coming to 10 to go. Welcome back. Brandon Hawken has cycled ahead of Jonathan Oates and Matt Danson by 4 seconds after their pit stops. The last of the leaders yet to come in, including that car that just came in, Austin Johnson. Only Tyler Gary is in front of Hawken and yet to make a scheduled stop. Also yet to make stops, Michael Frisch, David Cabrera. Oates also trying to find a way around them with Matt Danson behind. They are losing bunches of time trying to get around the 31. The smoke you see at the other end of the racetrack is just Parker White from 36 going around. But Jonathan Oates may be at a risk of losing a spot back to the 30, coming back towards that section. Danson all over his rear end after their pit stops. Only Michael Frisch, who has to pit to deal with in this respective pack. Danson electing to keep it conservative for the run to the bus stop. The exit, though, a little bit stronger, had to back up from the 73 Creative car. Coming to 8 laps to go. Danson looking to size up Oates. Here comes the run, too strong as Danson cuts the bus stop into the final chicane for a moment. Joining the party, a side-by-side battle between Blake Reynolds and Kevin King. They've gained tons of time with their strategy calls. Reynolds in particular, a 5-lap undercut compared to Jonathan Oates. He holds off King for the time being. Now they're over the back bumper of Frisch. P. Frisch looking to keep it clean potentially here. Oates going for the send though. Will Michael Frisch give it to him? No. He fights him. Oates to the left side coming in NASCAR 3. And here comes the party. Frisch pulls the ejector cord, and Blake Reynolds has come back from an EOL to join the battle for the top 3. Reynolds hits the wall and loses his ground. There goes his chance. Working their way now once again to the flower beds. Oates looking for his best results since the summertime. They are 6 seconds behind Brandon Hawken still. They may need a caution to have a shot in this one. Reynolds feeling pressure from King once again. They slow up a little bit. Keep in mind, Tyler Gary is still the race leader. And he is 18 laps into his strategy. How long can Tyler Gary go? 6 laps to go. Only a 2.6 second buffer. Behind them, a bit of trouble. What's continuing to have a panic-filled race as the Peach Machine, the 35 on Pancari, moves around the 22nd place car. The situation updated over the radio. Currently the situation, the way they run for the point standings, the way they stand, all drivers coming into this race would advance. However, the one shakeup would be with Cosmin Ionescu. If Hawken wins, he moves into the round of 8. Cosman is out. So Cosman needs Hawken to make a lot of mistakes here. Cosman is running in 14th spot. No time gained over the past lap, though, by Hawken into the final corner. 5 laps to go. Can Gary make the magic fuel tree work? The battle behind him, Oates playing solid defense over Danson. Looking from Oates. This will be one of the best runs from all season from Oates. Continuing to hold on in front. NASCAR 1 and 2 approaching for this battle now. We're taking a look at 10th spot. One of the closer battles picking up on the track, 10th and 11th. Oh, and some trouble out of the bus stop just now from Oates. Oates had a bad run with the traffic. Danson got alongside and hit Oates. Will this be the time to ring the bell for the spot? Yes, Danson shows the nose. Oates blocks the nose. 4 to go. And there goes David Cabrera. He made it 20 laps. So expect more stops. That's the sign for Gary being close. 2.2 seconds up. Apparently that paint scheme designed by GaryPaints.com. And that item on the back end may be the reaction there. Let's take a look over at third again. A couple peeks from the infield for Danson. Lap traffic moves out of the way for the 7. Tyler Gary comes into pit, coming to 3 laps to go. And the race has now gone into the hands of Brandon Hawken. Oates looking to tie a season best. Brandon Hawken with a chance to knock Cosman out of the playoffs. Danson still wants a chance though. Still no chances fully to make a move on Oates without using the bumpers. Kevin King has found a way back around Reynolds, keep in mind. Kevin King amongst those advancing to the Contender Series as Danson hits the wall. Danson hit the wall with the right front fender. Able to keep it going though, just some lost ground. Coming at 2 laps to go here from Charlotte. Brandon Hawken looking to walk his way in for the postseason to the round of 8. 7 seconds the cushion over the battle for second. Danson using all the walls. Danson a road course ace in this respective series. In other series, whenever he's driven on the racetrack, he's been a walking W. 25th start of the season for the 30. Looking for a chance to move up to second to close out the night. Here comes the send. No contact. Oates holds on. Lap and a half to go from Charlotte. Danson aggressive again on the curbing. No chances on Oates. Near even on time, these two. King and Reynolds losing ground. All of this as well. Brandon Hawkin coming up to the white flag this time by for the kick in the tires. Round of 12, finale 250K. Once again, Danson to the wall. Danson this licking the stamp. Will it stick? Yes, it does. Oates lets it stick. Danson to second. Danson looking to run away. Now Oates vulnerable for Kevin King's advances. Lap traffic ahead. King closing in and peaking. And King gives Oates a shot. Moves him off the line. King forced to check up. Kane losing lots of grip though coming out of the corner. That may be the insurance needed for Oates for third. Danson with a sizable buffer now for second spot. One last slide and one last one through NASCAR 3 and 4. Brandon Hawkin coming to the final chicane. Will lock himself into the round of 8 from 12th to 2nd seed. He wins it at Charlotte. Second goes to Danson. Oates, with his best run since the summer, finishes in third. Kane and Reynolds the top 5. Mercurio just took a spot from Michael Frisch for 6th spot. Frisch with Chris Wett's training paint. Final spot for the top 10, Gary spins himself out and will finish in 11th. Looking at the last battle on the lead lap, Cabrera, McAdams, and Nick DeWarnick in the mix. Will we see a Kevin McAdams send? No, Kevin elects to let them battle it out in front. Cabrera slides, and the TWRS back machine holds on to 15th, Cabrera 16th, McAdams 17th to round out the finishers. But welcome to the round of 8, Brandon Hawkin. A 4-time winner this season, and that means the end of the postseason for Cosman. He, Nathan Rabideau, Ryan Naraki, Michael Frisch, unofficially out. And the celebration is on. Brandon Hawkins' 4th win of 2022. The strategy, build up the night, but in the end, execution to the final pit stop helped decide this one. Unofficially, Brandon Hawkin, the race winner by 6.8 seconds over Matt Danson. Jonathan Oates finishes in third, holding off Kevin King and Blake Reynolds. Brian Mercurio by half a second over Michael Frisch for 6th. Ethan Coulter finishes in 8th, Austin Johnson in 9th, while Daniel Falkingham holds off a spinning Tyler Gary for 10th. Gary finishes backwards meanwhile for the 11th position. Matthew Zwack finishes 12th. Nate Stewart, who is already locked in with a victory from Dega, finishes 13th after a speeding penalty, while Cosman had an issue, finishes 14th. Not enough to advance. Nick DeWarnick finishes 15th. David Cabrera, Kevin McAdams, Lucas Plussel, the lead lap cars. Spencer Ray and Jake Poulin 1 lap down apiece. Poulin having an adventurous night. Ray having a steering wheel fall off. Ryan Pandicio 2 laps down, finished in front of Michael Kruger. Then Brent Pancari, Art Reimer, Corey Cook, followed by Scott Smith 5 laps down with Cole Freilich. Wyatt Tinsley finishes 7 laps down. Landon Mills 8 laps down. Michael Cozy Jr. rounds out the top 10, finishing in 30th, 15 laps down. Then Chris Wetz, he was here. He finished 31st, 18 laps down over Ryan Naraki, Andy Margot, Dylan Basin, Parker White, followed by Philip McCandless, Nathan Rabideau, Kyra Wynn, Dylan Drelling, and Joseph Armstrong. The last drivers in the field tonight taking the green were Kenny Brady and Justin Malillo. DNSs for Dustin Dawes and Aaron Brown. That's a look top to bottom at the running order. Unofficially for the kick in the tires, round of 12, finale 250K. But the celebration is on unofficially. Brandon Hawken is in the round of 8. Welcome to the next round, Brandon. You came up clutch tonight. How does it feel to be in the round of 8 unofficially?
Wait, Justin, man, I did not know what to expect coming into this race. I knew it was going to be really tough, but saw Charlotte on the schedule, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's my best chance to do it. And at the beginning, I wasn't looking too good. I got a little bit loose going into the first chicane, and got I think it was like a 3.5 second penalty or something that quickly went up to around like 7 seconds or something ridiculous. And so yeah, it was just about just marching up to the front there. I knew there was a caution on lap 30, so that helped out a lot. And I think there was a pit stop where a few drivers, I think the pit lane was closed, and they went through, so I got a few free positions out of that. And from there is just picking them off one by one on that on that like stretch of quite a few cautions there. And by the end, I knew I had the pace. I got a lot more comfortable in the car, and it was it was I didn't know what I was going to have to do to get the win there, but had a really great race there with Matt, and just a little slip up from him allowed me to get by. And then second guessing myself there towards the end, because I was like, oh no, is Gary good on gas? Am I gonna have to catch back up to him and pass him? But fortunately, fortunately for me anyway, had to pass, or he had to come into the pits. But huge race for us and the Docket crew. Shout out to Docket, and I'm just really glad to make it to the next round. I fortunately had to miss the first round, or the first race in this round, so it was either win or go home. So I'm really happy to be able to take it home this time.
A huge win, absolutely, in this one. But now, how's that focus going to be for the next round? Because the pressure has to be on, right, to battle it on, because a chance for the championship 4 now in the sights with the next round, depending on how you do.
Yeah, it's gonna be really tough. You know, FTF's got some of the best oval drivers on the service, and it's gonna be extremely difficult. We got 8 awesome drivers here, and it's gonna be tough. We're gonna have to perform every single round. If you don't, you're pretty much out. So it's gonna be extremely challenging, and I'm happy to make it to this point, but we definitely want to make it to the final 4. So that's the goal, and just try and treat every race like every other race. Just try not to make any mistakes, and stay cool, calm, and collected, and hopefully we can make it in.
Well, congratulations on the victory tonight, your 4th of the campaign, and it gets you to the round of 8. Congratulations, and I believe your sponsor may be doing a giveaway as a result of this one on the Twitch right now.
Oh, is he? Well, yep. Make sure to sign up, or do whatever for the giveaway. Doc, it's been great this whole season. I'm so happy to have them on the car, and just thank you guys up in the booth, everybody at FTF. That was a great race, and hopefully see you guys next time.
Brandon Hawken walks it off unofficially to advance his way to the round of 8. Meanwhile, his best run for the summer, or since the summer, for the 73, Jonathan Oates. First of all, how?
I don't know. I've been a little under the weather today. I think I got a cold. I felt good about my pace in practice throughout the week, and I came out here and I wanted to do good. So I put my foot down and I got a 3rd place.
How difficult was this road course race in turn, though, to be able to maintain the top 10? You were in the top 10 just about the entire night, but had to hold it off. Danson most of the run, Kane Reynolds at the end.
I mean, it's a challenge. The way this car was set up, if you got any of the curbs wrong, you would just bounce for days on straightaways. You'd have no grip. You had to make sure that you weren't getting too much curb every lap, making sure your throttle was good every lap, keeping your tires in check. It was definitely difficult. So I'm really proud to be able to bring home a third place, because I've had a couple of I don't even want to say bad luck, because I've done it to myself some pretty bad weeks the past couple of weeks. So this is good. I'm really proud of this.
Well, with that, how do you look to try and maintain things? Of course, you were a part of the round of 16. How do you look to carry this momentum the rest of the campaign to try and build on what's now your second top 5 this year?
Just making less mistakes. If you look back to the round of 16, I mean, I easily should have made it out of that round, and I didn't because I messed it up too many times. And I take full responsibility for that, and I think that that's something I need to work on. So today I came out here with the mindset that I wasn't going to go for the win. I wasn't even going to go for a top 5. I just wanted to make it from the start of the race to the end of the race without making any mistakes. And I put it together, and I get good finishes. So I just got to keep doing more of that. I'm looking forward to the tracks we got next. I don't know if there's a win on the cards, but hey, I don't think I could get third tonight, so anything's possible. I just got to keep keeping it clean, make less mistakes, and keep learning for next year.
Well, congratulations on your best run since Gateway.
Thank you.
Third place here at the Charlotte Roval. Second spot, meanwhile, went to Matt Danson. He passed Oates late. And Danson pushed hard to get that spot, including licking the stamp and sending it to the Tums Heartburn turn. Matt, first of all, let's talk about the battle for the race win. What happened that you think was the turning point between you and Hawken? You two were fighting close much of the race. Matt Danson, do you have a copy? We'll try this a third time. Matt Danson, do you have a copy? And we'll try this one final time. Matt Danson, do you have a copy? We may be having a microphone issue. Let him have a chance to gather himself, or we'll try another attempt. But here are how the points are structured currently via Justin Maluo. Nate Storp, Brandon Hawken in
Hello.
on wins. How about we get to Matt Danson first then, because he just said hello.
Yay.
Hello.
Hi, it's working. Hooray.
Hooray! First of all, talk us through the battle for the race win. What happened there with you and Hawken?
Yeah, I thought I had good pace. I just didn't really think through the strat right, I guess. I thought I was looking good with that too, but just with all the yellows that we had, and you know, the fact that he was going to have obviously less fuel to take as a result of coming in there, just didn't really think it through 100%. But still happy with our showing. Would have been nice to come away with the dub. I think this is our third road course where we've finished P2 to Brandon in a row that I've competed in. I wasn't at Road America, but it's I mean, he's obviously a beast, but it would be nice to get one of these ones.
It still was a hard fight to get second spot in the first place. Talk us through your decision to lick the stamp and send it on Oates.
Yeah, I mean, Oates was just in the way, wasn't he? Golly. I was trying everything to get around him. He was driving great, and we had a couple of little moments where we were side by side and doing some switcheroos and whatnot. But yeah, I knew I was really strong in that last chicane and then into turn 1 as well. So if I was going to get it done anywhere, it had to be there. And usually, if you can kind of send it hard enough and then just park it on the inside, then you're looking pretty good. So I did that. He gave me a bit of room, sort of helped make it work. But pretty happy to get that one done.
So what will the approach be now, the rest of the campaign? An event for one here at the Roval, still a few races to go. What's the approach now with how this season is broken down for you and your team?
I mean, obviously we missed a bunch of races early on, and also had pretty poor finishes in the ones we did do. So we missed out on the chase, but just sort of supporting Cozy, being second gunner to him, just having a bit of fun, trying to build for another campaign next year, and see how we go. But I mean, it'd be nice to get a win, but obviously competition's super strong here. I mean, I drove 9 hours before having a quick little nap and then getting this race done. So my main focus right now is to sleep.
Okay, we'll let you achieve that goal. Good luck on that goal.
Thank you, appreciate it. And obviously shout out everyone at Altus Esports, so Logitech G, VRS, Racetech Seats. Actually, Cozy and I did this race from the VRS Australia hub, so that was a pretty cool experience. I could hear Cozy cursing and carrying on just beside me. So that was shout out VRS Australia and VRS as a whole.
Almost forgot about that trip Cozy Jr. made. He has unofficially moved on, keep in mind, despite the issues tonight. Congratulations to you and your team.
Yeah, he's I can see him. He's very happy about it. Smile ear to ear. So he's super happy about moving on. I mean, he's a strong contender for the championship for sure. Everyone needs to look out for him. But he's down here. Geordie as well is down here. We went to Bathurst, and they're slowly but surely experiencing Aussie culture and Aussieisms, including camping, which was a bit unusual for the guys, but it's been a lot of fun.
Well, congratulations again on the run. Matt Danson in second spot tonight. Like thank him, Jonathan Oates, Brendan Hawkin for taking the time to speak with us during post-race coverage here for the Barr Visuals FTF Cup Series. So what's next on the docket? Well, the Yankee 600 is coming up. The charity event featuring the 1987 cars will be taking place from Michigan this Wednesday and Thursday, October 12th and 13th. Be sure to tune in. Coverage starting on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for the heats. It should be an intriguing one and one of the most expected to be big events of the fall. Then on Saturday, the FTF Cup Series returns to Las Vegas in the next-gen cars. Jacob Hitzkeld-Hoffman currently slated to be in the booth for that one on October the 15th for a 9:45 p.m. start. The Winsdale Gen 4 Challenge, meanwhile, gets to have some fun by going to Martinsville. How many cars will finish with meatball flags? How many drivers will finish with much-needed points? Find out Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And SimCar returns Thursday, October the 20th to the Nürburgring with the LMP2s and GT3s. That coverage 8:30 p.m. on Thursday, October the 20th. But on that note, it's time to say goodbye. I'd like to thank you for tuning in for tonight's coverage for the Kick in the Tires Round of 12 Finale 250K. For my producer, Zach Johnson, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening. You've been watching the Barr Visuals FTF Cup Series from iRacing's virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval.